dick energy.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Burnout Brighter podcast, episode 35. I'm Matt, your host for this evening's festivities. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Darren. And Destiny.
You're fucking stupid.
If you're new to the show, thank you for tuning in. We are a video game, mental health, and all other kinds of things podcast where we talk about different things week to week. We cover some news. We cover some bullshit. We cover some stuff that makes us excited. I talk a lot about Persona, so if you don't like it, too fucking bad.
I might actually talk about Persona today.
I'm saying, this week we're going to be talking about what makes a real, quote-unquote, gamer, or as some would call it, a gamer. We're also going to talk a little bit about the new Animal Crossing update and that San Diego Comic-Con has been canceled. You can catch that with news at the end. But we're going to start, as we always do, by me asking questions that are 100% thought of before and not during this incredibly long, rambly lead-in to the questions. So now is the time when questions shall be asked to co-hosts. So
let the question asking commence.
Yeah. Darren, I'm gonna start with you. Okay. If you had okay, wait, I'm going somewhere with this. Hold on. Okay. If there was a video game version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And you had to pick a character representative.
As my phone a friend?
No. As the person who's going to do Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. They're going to be the contestant, but you are sending them in.
So I want them to win.
You want them to win. Right? So let's say you're sending a character in, and you want them to win, because if they win, you win kind of deal. So Which character would you pick to send in as your representative on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Let's say you were supposed to go, morning of, you got explosive diarrhea, and you're like, I can't do it. Which video game character goes in your place? Like I said, if they win, you still win.
Easy.
Shit.
Easy answer.
Okay, why?
I would pick the prince from The Prince of Persia, Sands of Time. Because he can rewind time. So he could just pick an answer, and then if it's wrong, just be like, no, that didn't happen, and then rewind it to just before the answer happens.
That's actually a really clever answer, and not what I was expecting. I thought you were going to be like, well, I'm actually going to pick Katamari Damacy because they can just roll all the questions into one. Good answer.
As long as he is really good at hiding a dagger. Because he needs the dagger to rewind time.
Right.
But I'm going to assume that he's sneaky and he hides it in his pants or something like that and he just pulls it out.
Mm-hmm. That's a perfect place to hide a dagger.
That is a good...
He just gropes himself every time he has to rewind time.
I mean, that's what guys do anyway.
So, but the prince does...
I do when I want to rewind time.
Constantly adjusting their balls.
It's true. I'm doing it right now.
Yeah. He is.
Still doing it. Maybe doing it for the next 30 minutes.
Big balls.
This is not an exercise ball I'm sitting on. They're very swollen.
Oh my god!
Some Pom Poko energy.
TMI.
Elephantitis.
You guys.
Okay, cool. Good answer, Darren. Proud of you. Destiny.
Yeah.
Let's say you are sending in someone, and the same scenario here. Let's say you know now that Darren is sending in the prince from Prince of Persia as his contestant.
Yeah.
Let's say this is the first episode of the show ever.
Okay.
We don't know who's hosting it.
Okay.
You kidnap the real host, and you have to send in a counter host.
I kidnapped the real host.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you have to send in a counter host to stump the Prince of Persia, Darren's contestant.
But, how would they stump him if he can just rewind time all
Right,
the time?
but that's what I'm saying. We have to think about this now and see who can counter him.
Deadpool?
Yeah.
Fuck, you're right. Deadpool could totally counter that.
He could. He'd totally, completely fourth wall break it.
Yeah.
He'd be like, I feel like I asked you this already.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
I
did that really quick.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I had no answer.
That works.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're welcome.
I'm floored.
Yeah, me too.
I'm simply shocked.
I'm actually a little bit speechless. Just a little bit, though.
Just tiny
Yeah.
bit.
And a little bit in pain. My balls continue to swell.
Keeping your balls too.
All right. I got a question for Matt.
Okay.
Matt.
Yeah.
Who do you think would win in a fight?
Okay.
I was like...
The protagonist
Okay.
from Persona 4
Okay.
or the protagonist from Persona 5?
Oh, that's a good Persona question.
Persona 5.
Why?
Ren. It would be Ren. He's Persona 4. The main character's name is Yu. His like canon name. He's much like more friendly and kind of more like timid and like kind of like the good boy.
So basically, you're saying you ain't shit.
No, he is shit. But I'm just saying, Joker from Persona 5, or Ren as his canon name is, he's a bit more of a sly fuckboy. So I feel like with
Wait,
his
because he's a fuckboy, he'd beat the nice guy?
No, well, no, it's also because he's like a thief and he gets more thieving powers. Like the Persona 4 characters, they just kind of get Persona abilities. The Persona 5 characters become like master fucking assassins and thieves.
Oh, okay.
Not assassins, but pretty much.
Yeah.
So I feel like the Persona 5 protagonist would beat the Persona 4 protagonist because I feel like he'd use more dirty tricks. And he'd probably
So
just...
he'd win because he fought dirty.
Yeah, and he'd probably just shoot him.
So he ain't shit.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a much easier answer than I thought it was going to be because I've never played Persona 4, so I have no context.
Yeah.
Which one
As
am
in-
I playing?
You're playing 4.
Oh.
As in, like, which one I like more? I like P4's main character more.
Yeah,
but
yeah, but who's going to win in a fight?
in a winner
is the
fight,
question.
it's gonna be Persona 5.
Okay, cool.
Persona 4 protagonist.
Cool. We actually like burned through those questions so
We
quick.
did.
Yeah, we don't usually go that quickly. What the
Maybe this podcast won't be an hour and a half.
Yeah, maybe it'll be 2 hours. All right, moving on. Let's start with Destiny this week. Destiny, what's new? What have you been up to? What's going on in that old coffee grinder?
Well, I don't like coffee, so there's none of that in there. But I have been playing Animal Crossing.
Mm-hmm. How's your island coming along? How's that journey?
It's so much work. Oh my God. I feel like I'm fishing. Like, I literally fish enough and pick up enough seashells and stuff to like...
If you hear any dog noises, Leo's popping off in the background a bit, which is why Destiny laughed.
Yeah.
Sorry, do you go on?
I usually sell up to like $30,000 to $40,000 worth of like fishing and bugs and stuff. But I'm like, that's a lot of. That's all I do.
Yeah.
I feel like to try to catch up and get like my fucking bridge built. And he's like, oh, well, the other island animals will help you, but they don't really help.
They don't do
They
shit.
donate
don't
like
really-
100 bells a day
Yeah,
or something
I'm
stupid
like,
like that.
asshole. And then one of them like brought up the fact that I was burying some bells, and I was like, bitch, you better stay away from my money tree. She's like, oh, somebody's been burying bells. Just kidding, I knew it was you, Tabby. And I'm like, how'd you know?
Bitch, if those bells are gone, I know who did it.
I'm coming for bubbles.
I know who did it.
Fucking coming for her. So I've been playing that.
Yeah, it's funny now getting these messages that's just like, Matt, can you open your island? I want to come shop.
Because I didn't have a clothing store and I was tired of wearing the same thing.
Yeah.
So I go to other people's islands to shop.
I
Like,
heard-
he invites me over and the first thing I do is go to
Yeah.
the fucking shop.
Literally, yesterday, Senna had opened up her island because Celeste was there, and when Celeste is visiting, she can give you special recipes. So I was like, okay, whatever, who wants to come? Because I was on her island already. And, like, Destiny's like, okay, I'll come. And then, like, Senna and I were on the other side of the island. She was showing me what she's been doing. And, like, Destiny arrives, and we go looking for her. And we spend, like, 3 minutes running around the entire island. I didn't look at my phone. And then after about 2 minutes, I got a message from Destiny just going, sorry, shopping.
Man.
So I got a cute outfit from that. But I've also been playing. Can you guys say it with me? So it's, like, intense.
Oh.
Okay, ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Broforce!
And I fucking love that game. I'm going to play it again.
Broforce is a really fun game.
It's so fun
It's
and
really
not
addicting.
competitive.
No, because it's cooperative.
And those are the kind of games I like.
But you can still fuck each other up.
You can.
Yeah.
Like, not on purpose. Well, you could do it on purpose.
Well, I
but, like,
kind of did it to you guys on purpose the other day when I came back to life, and I was
Well,
just like, bye, guys.
Yeah.
Honestly, nothing's funnier than everybody successfully working together to beat a mission, and then one asshole
Yes.
flying in the helicopter and leaving everybody behind.
Yes, I
honestly,
fucking
though,
love it.
because there's just something so satisfying. It's like, we all got here together. I could not have done this without you.
But I
But
won.
fuck y'all.
We
I'm
all-
out.
We all won, but I won harder.
Yeah, I won more than you won.
So I've been playing that, and that's been a lot of fun. I'm gonna get back into it. I just found out that there's like a Hogwarts themed RPG
In Minecraft.
thing for Minecraft.
I heard about that.
And I'm gonna download it because Madison's like, you gotta play it.
I heard it's really intense. Like, whoever made it.
Yeah.
People are like,
spent
how the hell did they make
a
this?
lot of time on it, so I'm down to see like what's all in the world and everything
Yeah,
like that.
lots of custom textures, lots of
Yeah.
custom like abilities.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I've heard it's really cool. I've seen like articles making the rounds about it in the last a little bit. So I think it must be relatively new too.
Yeah, and it's not for like the Microsoft one. It's for the
Java?
The JavaScript one.
Nice, cool. That's awesome. You have to let us know how that goes once you play it.
I will.
Dern, what about you? What's new?
So, I've been playing 2 games. I'll start with the first one, which I'll spend a little bit more time talking about.
Okay.
And the second one would just be like a quick booster at the end. I've been playing a lot of Persona 5. And you
Why do you say it like that?
Well,
Darren, so like since you've been playing one day at a time to match up with the real life calendar, you should theoretically only be on April 22nd.
Are you on April 22nd?
I'm on May 18th.
I knew as soon as you fucking said that last week, I was like, I can't do that. Ever in my life would I be able to play Persona day to day. And like, you like to take your time with shit, but you can only take your time so fucking much every day.
Yeah.
Before you're like, I'm just gonna do one more day.
Well, because here's the thing. So like, Persona, I like did not realize how much I liked Persona 5 until I started playing Royal and playing it all over again. Because I put 120 hours into the last game, and I started this up, and I'm like, I want to do it all over again. And also, very quickly, like, this week has been a little rough for me, and I'm not going to go into details, but like, Persona 5 has almost felt like therapy in a way. Like, it's been very, very good, because it's all about taking things like day by day, and it's about like the little victories, where it's like, they make a big deal. It's like, oh, you studied today. Like, good job. You're getting just that much smarter. Like, You're just getting that much better just by doing... It's not all about saving the world. It's about, like, cleaning your room. Studying. It's like cleaning, like, making some coffee.
It's even something simple as, like, you went to the restaurant and ate food. You know what I mean? It's, like, simple shit that they're like, you're pretty fucking smart for going there and eating.
Yeah.
Good job, man.
Yeah. And, but it's, like, really, really good. And I think playing something, like, familiar and comforting, it just feels really good.
What do you think about the new stuff that you've seen so far?
I love every change that's been made so far. There's been a lot of quality of life stuff that's just like very helpful. I think they've changed the support in the day-to-day stuff. Like when you used to hit the touchpad, it would pull up like the network and show like what percentage of people did what.
Yeah.
But now they're giving you like more options and like seeing what other things are available to you right there in that town.
It can break it down right away to like saying like these confidants are available nearby. Yeah. This are the different stores that you can go to today. Like it really just kind of, because I know you felt overwhelmed the first time. Yeah. It does break it down a little bit more so that a new player, even if they're uncertain, can have a little bit of a route to follow.
And certain abilities are given to you earlier, like the baton pass feature, where it's a turn-based RPG, and they had a feature where it's like if you hit an enemy's weakness, you could baton pass, like give your friend a high five, and they could take an extra turn, and you like just keep cycling through, and every time you hit someone, things charge up. Was the charging up in the original?
I don't think so.
I don't think it was, because now it's every time you high five, the next person is even stronger.
Yeah.
And you're like beefing each other up. And like they give it to you way earlier. So like before you had to like upgrade your relationships with these people before you got it. Now you get it really earlier. But like so just like I really like it. And also one thing I think that's cool about it is like I'm a teacher. That's my job. And because it's about like high school life and like teachers interacting with kids and seeing kids interacting with teachers, it almost like I think helps me in my teaching and being a teacher, because I see the way kids interact with their teachers in the game.
Yeah.
And like it's kind of fun to like put my hat back on the other foot.
Yeah, be a student again.
Put my hat back on the other foot. I just realized what I just said.
I totally went with
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Well, so what you're saying is now you're just whipping erasers at kids every time that they say something stupid in class. You just beam them in the face with an eraser.
Completely.
Yeah, the teachers seem kind of mean in that game.
They do seem mean.
Some of them.
But
like in Persona 4,
Persona 4 they're much shittier.
Are they really?
They're much shittier in Persona 4 than they are in Persona 5.
They're not actually, except for the one at the very beginning is really shitty. But anyways, it's just like it's making school fun, and it's kind of like making me think of like when I'm in my job, it's making me think that my job's a video game, and I get that vibe, and I feel really good at work. So like it's cool.
Cute.
So yeah, I've been playing that, and then my other game that I've been playing is a game called Watong, and Matt's
Is that
eye
the drum
just
beating one?
no.
Oh.
Matt's eye just twitched as soon as he heard this game because it's made by the same guy who made Katamari Damacy, and this is one of Matt's least favorite games in his entire life.
It's a bunch of poop.
It's a game that's more of like, it's less a game and more of like a toy box. I can't tell you how much I paid for it because I got it on sale, but I was also drunk when I bought it. So I don't remember.
I can tell. But it looks really cute.
It is a really, really cute game. It's like very Japanese. It's like very just like silly. Like it's a game about like you play this little green square and you're like finding friends. You're the only one in the universe. And you are trying to like interact with different people and make them happy. And then you make more friends and you do like weird things to like, you have to like make a stack as tall as this bowling pin, and then that makes this other thing spawn. Yeah, and like your main character has like a present bomb in his hat, and every time you take your hat off, it makes everybody like blow up into the sky and like confetti smoke in like a really fun way. And
so it's just about reconnecting?
Yeah.
So this is Death Stranding,
but like with less gameplay. It's like very, like I said, it's less of a game and more of just like a fun toy box where you interact with things. Like there are goals. But like it's very much just about being weird and kind of reveling in absurdity. And I want to read a trophy description for this game to give you a kind of idea of the sense of humor and this vibe that the game has. The trophies have hilarious descriptions. So one of the trophies you get in a game, like, where is it? Yeah. My first friend. This is you get just by making your first friend. And the description is, congratulations. This is a trophy commemorating the Lonely Mayor's first friend. For the mayor, this is a graduation from isolation as well. Aww. And like, then it's like you make grass. And this is the other trophy description. Congratulations. The sadness following Spotlight's sudden disappearance and the happiness following the light of Sun's return combined in just such a way that grass was able to grow. A feeling commemorated by this trophy. This feeling is not unlike the hurdles of life itself.
What the fuck?
It's like weirdly deep.
It's like, but like
the fortune cookie shit.
But I just love this like vibe, the sense of humor.
But I feel like it's something you don't have to really like concentrate on. It's just something to enjoy.
And I could not stop smiling the entire time I was playing it. It's so cute.
How long have you played it? Like how long? Like have you put like an hour into it?
I played it like for like an hour.
Okay.
And I just got the ability to like travel away from my island to like another island.
Oh, it sounds a lot like Animal Crossing, actually, because we get a bunch of little stickers for little things.
It's a bunch of cute little things. Like there's like a nose named Jeff, and there's like a strawberry named Gertrude, and you're just making all these friends.
It's a perfect name for a strawberry.
And you control all of them, and each of them have their own little ability that like can solve a different task. So like they're all working together to solve different tasks. So it's like very positive, very silly, and I would expect nothing less from the guy who made Katamari Damacy.
Nice, Matt.
Matt, what are you up to?
Okay.
Severe depression right now. No, I finished Final Fantasy Remake today.
Oh yeah!
I put about 29 hours into it.
Slap it to a Slim Jim.
Oh yeah!
Yeah, I put about 29 hours into it. I did all the side quests right up until the last bunch that you get, because at that point I was so like, I want to see what happens in the story. I just don't give a shit about the side quests anymore. So I probably missed out on like 4 or 5 side quests. I did all the rest of them. I really loved it, and I'm not going to spoil anything here in terms of story wise,
but I want to know what your like opinion is.
I can see why I think Jason Schreier, when he said like he understood why they split the game up upon beating it, I echo that sentiment. I think that because of what they seem like they're doing or they want to do, this makes sense for them to split the game up into parts.
Okay. Do you like what they did?
I do. I actually like Nomura's ridiculousness.
Did you play the original?
I played through like half of the original.
Okay.
I am going to go back to it and play it now. Like, replay it, because like I never finished it. I am going to go back to it. I own it on Switch. Speaking of which, by the way, Destiny, I'm pretty sure it's on sale this week on the Switch. Heads up.
Nice.
But I am going to go back and replay it. But I really liked it. There is a bunch of shit in the game that I would have done differently or just really didn't need to be there. There are times when like because obviously they've added like a ton into this game to make it longer, right? Like I mean, Midgar, like we said before, it's only supposed to be about 6 hours, right? This game, from what I saw and how long to beat, I just looked it up. Most people are saying about a runtime of 40 hours. So I finished it about a good 10 hours under that.
Yeah.
I always play games quickly though, so like that's nothing new for me. Darren said it took him 120 hours to beat Persona 5. I beat it in 80. So like
I added 40 extra hours.
Big difference there. But there were things like they slow the characters down at points to like a crawl, to walk very slowly because of conversations that are going on, and it's just like you could have just made this to a cutscene. I understand why they did it like this, and even just to save resources. Other things like there's an extended, like it probably was like a good 2 to 3 minutes towards the later chapters in the game where you're literally just crawling through an air duct.
Oh my god.
Slow as shit. There's no audio. There's no conversations going on. There's literally nothing that's happening. But
Are there ambient sounds?
Like just like the clunk, clunk, clunk of like crawling through a fucking air duct, right? So I'm not trying to spoil anything, but like, and then like if you make a wrong turn, you have to back up, like imagine like reversing a car. You have to like back up into the way you came from and like turn the other direction.
But I mean, like, I can see why that sucks, but realistically, that's what you would have to fucking do.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm just not going to Final Fantasy for that kind of realism,
that
right?
Was weird because that's definitely not.
It's just little things like that, or like again towards the end, and I think it stood out to me a lot more in the last couple chapters because like shit was happening, and then you'd almost like hit a wall where you're kind of like, did this really need to happen? It didn't really add anything to the story. Because if it adds something to the story, I have no problem with it. But there were a couple segments throughout the entire game where I'm like, you could have trimmed 5 hours off this easily without no issues. The rest of the stuff that they add, I think, is wonderful. I think the way that they've kind of updated the characters and the way that the characters write and how much more personality side characters have. And even a bunch of the new characters that they've added are fantastic. I think the combat system is, again, one of my favorite combat systems. Like, the amount of boss fights that I've had, like, to the fucking wire. Like, me dying, like, me having, like, literally 3 health left on one character and managing to pull a Phoenix down before I went down.
Wow.
The game isn't great, about teaching you all of its mechanics. There's a mechanic that I learned of that's available from the beginning of the game that I didn't learn until the second to last chapter.
What?
Because it's never, unless I just missed it, but I was never expressly told, because I actually read an article on Kotaku being like, this boss fight made me learn this when it's available from the start.
Can you say this mechanic?
It's parrying. If you go into...
Oh, Punisher mode, and you block a melee attack, he'll counter.
Yeah, I must have just missed it.
Oh, yeah, they teach you that in the
because,
first level.
like...
They actually do give you a tutorial for that.
Okay, so maybe I just missed it, because, like, I don't remember ever learning it. And, like, I only ever switched to Punisher mode when I was, like, heaping on damage.
Yeah.
I wish I had remembered that before.
Yeah.
But, like, it's not really, like, brought up again. But and again, the way that the story ends... we'll talk about that another time once you guys have both caught up. Mm-hmm. But I'm super curious, Destiny, especially for you, to hear your thoughts on what they're doing. And like I said, I like Nomura's weirdness, and this is 100% Nomura. Like, if anybody's familiar with Kingdom Hearts, it's a complete clusterfuck. The reason that I'm more optimistic for this is because of the source material, right? Yeah. Kingdom Hearts was all new, all him.
Yeah.
And depending on how he handles things going forward, because there is a bit of a roadmap, I kind of think that even if he fills in between a little bit differently,
he's still going to hit the same big beats, probably.
Right. I think so, right? Okay. Like, there's no word of knowing how many games this is going to be, how long it's going to take for us to see them at the next chapter of the story.
Yeah.
But I'm cautiously optimistic, and from what they have done, I do like it so far.
Okay. Cool.
The other thing, I've been playing more Persona 5 Royal. Continues to be fantastic. The new stuff that they've added in is really great. Like Darren said, there's a new area that you can hang out with your friends a lot more easily. And even those little moments, because one of my biggest issues with Persona 5 Original is just how disjointed the group feels. it kind of feels like a band of misfits thrown together without having a lot of time for them to become friends.
Yeah.
Persona 5 Royal is giving them more things to do together. The new characters continue to be great. I'm really, really liking it. And I'm still playing Animal Crossing. I'm now like 110 hours in, I think. 105, 110.
Oh
and
my
like
God.
just seeing that number on my Switch like fucking baffles me.
I don't think you've ever played a game that long before.
I don't think I have. I don't know. Like, I'd have to fucking really think about it. But
Yeah.
I just keep playing it. And even if it's just like an hour of the day that I just hop in, do like my little daily shit, check the store out, do this, do whatever. But it's the little things that happen that I'm just like, this is fucking cool. I'm going to keep doing this. I built like a basketball court. And it's just for me, especially like dealing with anxiety and depression, because things have just been a little hard all over the place. These little tasks to be like, okay, I did this. Like, I wanted to make this thing and I made it. And like, it's just a little checklist thing that kind of helps me feel just like, be like, okay, I did that, I can do the next thing. I did that, I can do the next thing. And like you kind of said with Persona, doing things just one step at a time. I feel like Animal Crossing also is doing that for me.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. I really like it.
That's great.
Yeah. Okay. This week, guys, for our main topic, we're going to be talking about what makes a gamer.
Yeah.
What's a real gamer? Gamers and then games. Is there a correlation or is there a causation?
I think there's actually a really, really important part, a thing that I should say, is that the word gamer and the word game both have the word game in them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I'm really glad you brought that up.
That is a good point.
I don't think a lot of people realize that, that they just added an R to it.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's crazy. And they just called it a new word.
Yeah. And
like, where do words come from?
Well, guys, good discussion. End of podcast. We're going to shut her down right now.
Woo.
Woo. Darren, so we've kind of actually all kind of came up with this as a group when we were talking about the topic for this week. But Darren, you're the one who kind of gave it form. You gave it life. You birthed this topic.
It into existence.
This redheaded stepchild that you've brought to us. Please.
I don't know why it's redhead.
I don't know.
It smells like Mountain Dew and Doritos.
Nice.
Oh, that's
and
good.
all of its fingers. Oh, that's why it's redheaded. The Dorito flakes in the hair.
Oh,
Dorito
you're right.
flakes.
Yeah.
Okay, Darren, what are we talking about?
Well, okay. So, ever since
The dawn of
time, there has been a debate about what counts as like a gamer game, and there's the whole debate about like fake gamer girls, and the whole like just like I'm a gamer. These are the kinds of games I play, and I think with Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing, that discussion kind of started. And Matt, you were referring to me about an article.
Yeah, I'm gonna find it right now.
About somebody talking about Animal Crossing being almost like a kid's game, which I mean ultimately.
Here, I'm gonna cut in here real quick. So this article comes from Jack Crosby over at Business Insider. The headline is: "It's time to admit Animal Crossing: New Horizons is a dumb, boring game for children."
Oh my god!
And essentially, like, he does have some good criticisms of the game.
Yeah.
Things like it can be tedious. It can be like when shit breaks and you don't know when it's going to break. It can be in terms of like things taking a while for them to happen and there not being a whole huge wealth of things to do. But he frames it in such a way that's just demeaning.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, and we're going to talk about later about Animal Crossing selling really well. But I think with Animal Crossing being so successful, it's a really good time to talk about what counts as a gamer game and what counts as a gamer. How do different people in different groups try and define gamer?
I think that's a good question because part of the problem is like we don't do this shit with like people who watch television shows or read books.
You're a movie watcher. You're not a sitcom watcher. Okay?
Yeah, like it's
that's true.
It's
like romantic comedies get shit on a lot and stuff like that.
But even then, like those, it's not like saying like because you watch rom-coms, for example, you don't watch movies. You know what I mean? Like that isn't a debate that happens. It's just a generally accepted thing that like people watch movies, people watch TV shows.
Sure.
I don't think there's as much discourse. Like you can hate it. You can say like I fucking hate horror movies. They're garbage. But like somebody who watches horror movies is not going to be not called a movie watcher, for example.
I do think there's a bit of a divide, and I think it is actually similar to what I was feeling about gamers and games, about people that watch like experimental films and things like that versus like
Yeah, there's all those
grown-ups
levels of
too.
snobby.
Yeah, I just feel like that again, but like
it's like,
not
oh,
that-
that person. There's definitely people who are like that person.
Let's use music.
Okay.
Because there are people who listen to underground music
Yeah.
versus people who listen to like
mainstream music.
mainstream.
Yeah.
And there is that kind of like divide, like, oh, mainstream is shit. Or once somebody who's underground goes to mainstream, oh, like they're a traitor, or like they sold out.
Yeah.
There's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I still think that like even with all of that, there isn't a argument about whether that makes someone like a movie watcher or not, or a music listener or not. Like for us, like especially online, if like somebody only plays mobile games, for example, real quote unquote gamers are like, no, people who play mobile games aren't gamers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I will say that I'll definitely meet you there and say gamers are more like vitriolic about it. They think it's more important to them to like
To voice
that.
it, yeah.
Voice it and gatekeep that.
What I wanted to say is I think that I think it's more about the games that you're playing. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh.
So I think
I know what I want to say. Hold on. So I think, okay, so when you think of somebody who plays a mobile game or whatever, you think it doesn't take a lot of like skill, right? Like just straight up, you think it doesn't. There's certain games that don't take a certain amount of skill. And I think that some gamers think that games that require them to do a lot more, maybe memorize combos, things like that, like, oh, that's a real gamer. Like they're actually putting in more effort. They have to memorize stuff. They have to do this.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that comes down to like what some people consider a gamer and what some people don't consider a gamer. Like some people play Sims.
Yeah.
Sims is a game.
Yeah.
But I mean like...
And yeah, that was a big issue when the Wii was super popular, because the Wii got so popular among casual gamers that I think a lot of people were like, oh, those people that play the Wii, they're not the real gamers. They're just playing like Mario Kart and like all those like
the casual
shovelware,
stuff,
like
yeah.
Wii Play and like Wii Sports.
It's the
and
casual stuff.
Like that.
It's I think you make an interesting point, Destiny, that like it kind of seems like the kind of line in the sand is this idea of like skill, quote unquote. You know what I mean? Where like people who get upset about someone calling themselves a gamer if all they play is The Sims or all they play is Animal Crossing or mobile games, right? Because like to people who happily, you know, wear the gamer tag for themselves and are gatekeeping others from doing the same, they're almost saying like, oh, what you're doing takes like no skill or no effort, maybe, like, so therefore you are not that. I'm playing these other things that require more from me, so by that idea you are not that.
Right. So let's focus this and let me ask you both the question: what's the definition of a gamer? What do you have to do to call yourself a gamer?
Play games.
Okay.
I think it's really is as simple as that.
Yeah.
Play games.
Play
and
games.
I think that because gaming as a medium is very much kind of like in its adolescence now, right? Like we're getting new types of games. We're getting games that tell more mature stories than, you know, more generally than games that we had 20 years ago, right? Like just generally speaking. And I feel like because there is a kind of a game for everyone nowadays, right? Like my dad, who played video games with me when I was young, but since then hasn't really, like, fucking loves strapping on the, you know, the VR headset and playing things like Beat Saber and playing things like, you know, he tried Blood and Truth a little bit.
Right,
so like, would I call him like a gamer? You know what I mean? Like, I think that this gamer fucking label just needs to go away, because I don't think it's necessary anymore. Like, I think gaming has gone to the point where it's just so common that like it seems kind of useless to have that label thrown onto someone, right? Like just generally speaking, if I meet someone and they tell me like, oh, I listen to underground music, I'm not like, oh shit, like that's an underground music listener.
Like you're like a real listener.
Yeah, you know, yeah, like you listen, you don't just fucking hear. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't think, like, I think as this medium continues to grow and as more and more people play games, like,
I think it's stupid too. I think it's stupid because, like, I started playing games when I was in fucking first grade.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I've been playing games off and on for, like, a long fucking time.
As, like, pretty much your entire life.
Yeah,
the point that you can actually
entire life.
handle a controller, right? Like,
right. So, like, I get super offended when somebody's like, you're not really a gamer, or like, you don't really have skills to play games or whatever. Because back then, there was no gamer or gaming. You just did it and it was fun and you enjoyed it. There was, like, none of this toxic bullshit.
Yeah. I have a question for you, Destiny.
Yeah.
So you've played games for a really long time.
Yeah.
And you've been in the industry and you've had, like, a social media presence and things like that in terms of certain games. How many conversations with different people have you had where you felt you've needed to defend your status as, like, a gamer in like online or something like that? Like, have you met anybody online or anything like that?
like playing. I know you don't do a lot of online gaming, but anything that,
Or like when you told people, like, oh yeah, I work for a video game company or something like that.
I think
That like questioned your credentials, essentially.
I've never had somebody, like, question my credentials for, like, the gaming company. But I feel like I always say up front, if I'm going to be playing a game with a bunch of people, yo, if we're playing PUBG, I suck at this. Like, this is, I'm not an, like, I tell people up front, I'm not an FPS person. I'm not like a, like, what's the game,
like Dark Souls, like Twitch-based games.
Yeah, like, I'm not that type of gamer. Like, I've played it, but I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
So people are just like, oh, that's fine. But they still want to play with you.
Yeah.
I think I've only had a conversation where I felt, like, judged maybe 4 times. Personally, somebody saying something to me, maybe 4 times.
Did you stream in the past?
Yes.
Yeah. So, like, I'm specifically on streaming. Have anybody given you crap?
No. Actually, because I think I was a girl, I played Unturned and I streamed that and a bunch of other games. I always had, like, guys come in to be like, we'll protect you.
Really?
So I think they assumed, they never said you're a shit gamer.
Yeah.
They just assumed, like, because you're a girl, you're not going to be very good at this game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But none of them ever were like, none of my followers or anything were like, God, you fucking suck, blah, blah, blah. Like, none of them ever said anything like
That's
that.
what I was trying to kind of get at, is, like, the idea. I've seen this a lot, like, online in different, like, forums and things like that, of women having their quote-unquote gamer status being questioned because, oh, they're girls. They're just, like,
Especially
using
if
games
they're
for
attention.
attractive.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's
So
like,
I never posted my picture.
Ah, okay.
I never posted my picture.
Yeah.
Because that just automatically, not that I'm saying I'm, like, fucking hot or anything like that.
you fucking
But, thank you.
I got you.
But I know that people, like, guys will automatically treat you different if they find out you're a girl.
Mhm.
And, like, in MMOs or any kind of game like that. And they automatically treat you different if you're streaming and you happen to be attractive.
Right. And it's like, I feel like there are also people online, especially for women who play games, where if they post about, and I've seen it happen again and again and again. I follow like a bunch of video game personalities who are women, and they'll be like, oh, like, I'm so excited for this new Mass Effect, or I'm so excited about this new game, right? And they're, like, genuinely excited about it, and people will be like, oh, I bet you're just fucking saying that because the company paid you. Or, like, it's like, oh, have you ever even played the first Mass Effect? And it's just like, you don't see this kind of shit when guys do it. It's just like, if I see somebody like Greg Miller from Kind of Funny posting about something, like, the majority of it, everybody has haters, but I feel like if you're female and doing this,
people think you're just trying to get attention.
People think you're trying to get attention, or you're like, again, like the quote, like, fake gamer girl. Like, it's just like, you're doing this for the attention, or you're doing this because it's an ad, or you're doing this because of the money, or whatever the ridiculous reason that people seem to assume you might be talking about video games online.
I guess what I don't like is that, like, everybody's kind of started out at the same playing level, right?
Yeah.
The reason why people gain skill in playing games is because they put a lot of time to it. And the thing is that, like, people assume girls only play things like Sims or, like, dating simulators or, like, easy games, as if they don't play both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they can play both, but they might have a fucking preference, and that's okay.
Yeah, 100%.
So Darren, what do you think? I mean, like, what makes a real gamer? Like, is 10 years from now, are we still gonna have this fucking argument about what makes a gamer or not, or is this gonna become more of an antiquated term as more and more people just play games?
I know I brought this up as a topic, but I'm covering my mouth.
Yeah.
I know I brought this up as a topic, but I also really hope that this doesn't have to be a topic in 10 years, because I think that I'm really happy, because like my original question was like, oh yeah, what defines a gamer? And Matt, I'm super happy that you said the answer. Why are we even using the word gamer? Because the problem is I can make an argument if I'm going to play devil's advocate. It's like, okay, so if you can say anybody who plays games, okay, but people play different games at different points in time for different amounts of time. Mm-hmm. So like, oh, if this person has played 3 games over the past year, they play games, but are they a gamer? Because they played it so infrequently. And like, where's the line of how often do you have to play? And you start to question that. So your solution is just say, fuck the word gamer. Well, that's I think the right mindset, because I think you're just playing into a stereotype if you're trying to use the label that has the stigma on it.
I just think that it's unnecessary in this day and age, right? Like I said, like if somebody listens to music or if somebody watches shows or whatever, like there aren't labels just associated with doing the thing. You know what I mean? Like, sure, you can get into arguments about avant-garde movies versus, you know,
you can say you're like an audiophile or a cinephile.
You know,
right, but like there's different levels of that though, right? Like just because, but like audiophiles or cinephiles take it to like such the nth degree in terms of like what equipment you can kind of buy and shit. Like whatever, fuck it, fine. But like for me, like I just feel like video games has this mentality of like us versus them that others don't have as strongly and as prevalently, because like it's almost like this thing of like this badge of honor being like, I play games and I'm good at games.
I sink 200 and something hours into it.
Yeah, and like my kill death ratio is fucking 69.
The only people I think that should have that title are people who do it professionally.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm a singer.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody sings, but you don't call yourself a singer.
I make money doing this.
I make money playing games. My profession is a gamer.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah. And the reason I think we're only using the word gamer now is because that's kind of the only real common word we have for it. It's like a problem with the language that we use. If we had a different word for it, it wouldn't be as big of a problem. And I think that I'm sorry. I think that I've lost my train of thought.
I think that
I've lost my train of thought.
I think the train has left the station.
Oh, it sure has.
I pulled up a couple stats here actually, just to kind of help the argument out here a little bit. So this is coming from techjury.net. It says video game demographics, who plays games in 2020, okay? And just a couple of things that I'll be pulling out from here. As of when this fucking shit was done, there are more than 2.5 billion video gamers around the world. Okay? The average gamer is 34. 70% of gamers are 18 or older. 60% of Americans play video games daily. 45% of US gamers are women. And 70% of parents believe video games have a positive influence on their children's lives. So we see that like these numbers are just continuing to grow. And something that I wanted to bring up, like we talked about, Darren, you mentioned the sales earlier. Animal Crossing is off to like a massively historic fucking start for not even just the franchise, but Nintendo games, period.
Yeah.
It has outsold, it's had better fucking launch numbers than Mario, than Zelda. It's like one of the top selling Nintendo Switch games.
Not just Nintendo Switch games, Nintendo games.
Yeah, like fucking full stop, right? Yeah. Like games now, especially during this quarantine, like good luck trying to go find a Switch. Yeah. Animal Crossing was almost impossible to find for weeks.
Yeah.
Right? Like this.
Oh, I was lucky.
Yeah, like it's insane. Like there's another great article that I've started it on and I haven't finished it, but Jason Schreier wrote a post basically talking about how more people are buying games now because of the pandemic than like ever before, right? And even just think, but like, so these games are hitting fever pitch, right? Yeah. So there are plenty of people playing all over the world. And it's just like, why do we need to fucking label it? Why do we have to put up these walls and being like, you're not a real gamer because all you play is fucking Cookie Clicker.
I've remembered my point.
You're not a real gamer if all you play is Cookie Clicker.
I will fight you in the alley outside.
That is so kinky. Will you? I'll say it again.
Does that raise my chances?
I am conflicted. I remember my point, and it actually goes to what you're saying there. So a lot of the problem, I think, and why it might feel worse for video games, the divide and the gatekeeping, is because a long time ago, people were stigmatized for liking quote-unquote nerdier things
right.
to some degree. And I think that a lot of people are uncomfortable or scared that with more people liking these, what they believe as more casual style games, will change the industry away from the kinds of games that they like. And I disagree with that argument.
I disagree too.
Because I think that what they don't realize is that the more people are interested in games creates a bigger diversity of games, but it will not remove the kinds of games that they like.
Yeah.
It just, with more people, means more niches, means more opportunities to tell different stories and have different experiences. It's not like replacing, it's adding.
Yeah, and like I think that's a really good point, Darren, because like you said, growing up, it was always like the people who play video games are the more nerdier ones or whatever. And as this kind of label again continues to grow and more people are playing, it just seems like...
Was it really like that in your generation?
I don't think it was in our generation.
I don't think it was like that in my generation either.
I'm referring to like the birth of video games back when like... Because
but
when
I don't
games
feel
start,
like those are the people who are complaining and who are doing this.
No, it has shifted a bit.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it has shifted a bit towards people that are just like uncomfortable with different kinds of stories and different kinds of ideas.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a lot of it comes from male gamers.
I think so.
I think it's almost exclusively from male gamers.
Yeah, okay. And that's what I mean by people being like uncomfortable. It's like, I want all my game characters to be male. I want all my game characters to be white.
There's so many guys though who play female characters, who purposely make female characters.
Chris.
But like I think part of the issue there too is that like this fucking deep rooted misogynistic value, the deep rooted racism and sexism and this idea that like a girl beat me at Overwatch, they must be hacking, or you know what I mean, or like it's just shit like that. Like the amount of fucking streamers that I've seen get shit, basically being like, I've seen comments and stuff about people being like, I bet you're not even playing, like I bet you're not even playing, insinuating that like she's on stream but somebody else is beside her actually playing the game for her. Yeah. And it's just like, what kind of fucking mental hula hoop jumps do you have to fucking go through to arrive at that?
The same people who do all this other crazy shit that makes you like think twice. The same people who are going out and protesting,
closing the,
wearing masks or fucking protesting social distancing, like
it blows my mind how ignorant people are. And it's like, and you know what? It stems from fucking fear. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what they're afraid of losing. Mm-hmm. I don't know what they're afraid is going to happen. Yeah. But it definitely stems from fear. Like, some men just don't want to be like, I got beat by a girl. And they can't look at it as like, I got beat by another gamer. Or like, or I just got beat by somebody who's better. Like, God forbid she have titties and a vagina.
It seems like all these problems just eventually roll back to toxic masculinity. Yeah. And just the baseline of just like, well, you know, maybe you should just be more comfortable in your own skin.
You know, and the weird thing is, I don't know if you guys have, but I've never looked at somebody else for the games they've played and been like, oh, you're not a real gamer, or you're not really a gamer. No. You know, like, if they play games, they play games. Who fucking cares? Yeah.
Like I said, if you find somebody who plays games, you should be, like, if you really do like the medium, your hobby, the medium, seeing somebody else playing games, that should make you excited.
Yeah.
You're enjoying the medium that I'm enjoying.
And this kind of reminds me of a little conversation that we had a couple weeks ago, Destiny, when we were, Darren, you and I were talking about, who the fuck was it? Candace Patton from The Flash.
Yeah.
When we saw her tweeting about Breath of the Wild, and
like,
Destiny,
awesome.
you were like, oh, like, is it only because it's a girl playing games? And it's like, no, like, I just get excited seeing other people like the shit I like. I got super stoked when I found out, like, Henry Cavill loved The Witcher, right? Like, it's just
celebrities for me. I really like when celebrities are playing, because you don't know if celebrities are actually, like, if they're playing games.
It's just a stupid thing, right? But, like, for me, it's just kind of like, oh, this person that I respect, right? Like,
I didn't know they play games. They like the thing I like. That's cool.
I guess for me, like, the reason why, like, by default, when I meet someone, my default reaction is, you probably don't play games. And I'm not, like, saying you're not a gamer, but, like, I guess for us growing up, like, it was our friends in the class that played games, but, like, out of, like, the 20 to 25 people in the class, there were, like, 5 or 6 of us that regularly played. Yeah. And then, like, everybody else would, like, play at parties and stuff and whatever, but, like, it's, like, being able to talk about it and shit. There was, like, the little group of us. Yeah. And, like, everybody else either played casually when we all got together and whatever, but, like, people that we could actually have conversations about it with weren't many, at least in my experience.
No, and also, like, when I started working at the bank, when I moved away from that group of friends and moved into, like, a more, I guess, just, like, general public setting, I was the only person on my team of, like, 60 people that actually played video games.
And I guess that's weird. I've always been surrounded by other gamers. Or other people who played games.
Yeah.
And I mean, it could be because of, like, also what I went to school for, because they also had, like, a game design thing there. But, like, when I was growing up, everybody played games. Everybody, like, went to, like, this is how old I am. Everybody went to, like, Blockbuster or, like, a mom and pop shop to rent a video game. Everybody, like, and if you didn't play games, it's because you didn't have a system. So you would go to a friend's house who had a system and you would play games there.
Yeah. Like, and, like, even for me, this was as recently as, like, university, where, like, on the floor of, like, 25 people, again, there was, like, a small group of us that, like, played games, right? So I feel like that's shifting more and more with the younger generations. There are just more people who are playing. So I feel like just because by default when I meet someone now, I'm just like, you probably don't play games. So when I hear that they do, regardless of who they are, I'm excited because I'm like, we can talk about this. Like, this is an easy point of contact for us, right? So
when did you find out I played games?
I don't remember. I don't remember how it came about.
I don't either. I don't remember at all.
But it's just one of those things. So, like, for me, I don't understand how, like, when you meet someone and let's say that they're a female, right? And they're like, yeah, I play games. My initial reaction is never like, yeah, I bet you fucking do. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Why? Like, it's just so useless. It's so futile. Like, just get excited. What the fuck?
I found this group on Facebook, and it's a group for Black people who play Animal Crossing, and I was genuinely surprised.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because, like, most Black people I know, like, guys, play sports games, like basketball and stuff like that, or, like, FPS. Yo, there are so many dudes in this group, and I was just, like, really surprised. Like, the video I showed you was from this guy who posted it, like, the 420 weed one.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, that's amazing. But, you know, it's so positive.
Yeah.
In that community.
Right.
It's really positive.
How much of that do you think is guys maybe not willing to talk about the games that they're playing? Do you know what I mean? Like, if maybe they do like Animal Crossing, but they're unwilling to share that with their friends out of fear of being looked at like a baby gamer or whatever the fuck. Do you think that plays a part into it?
I don't think so. Because there's a bunch of dudes in there, and they don't seem to fucking care. And their stuff is very funny. Like, the stuff that they make is, like, such, like, dude shit that you would make. Like, this dude set up, like, a pornography scene with the camera and everything. That's, like, porn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, like, I don't think they're afraid. And
That's great.
And there's this thing, like, there's a different type of community in Black gamers versus, like, other races, you know what I mean? So it's just really interesting to see how many of the, like, the style and the way they play the game is so
That's interesting.
Different.
I've never been exposed to anything like that before. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's cool. I think you could try joining, but they might be like, no.
I mean, I'm not really the target demographic of the group.
No, but I mean, like, it's Animal Crossing. There's no real target. But I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
So the last thing that I want to talk about before we kind of wrap up this conversation is even amongst gamers, right? Let's say this fucking label, it is what it is. Do you think that even amongst gamers, like you guys were mentioning, underground music versus mainstream, avant-garde film versus fucking blockbuster, do you think within the community there's different like tiers of gamers, like from the way that people look at things? Like people who play JRPGs are less of a gamer than someone who plays Dark Souls.
Yes.
Yeah,
do we have something similar happen already? Yes, definitely. I do think that like certain gamers look down on other gamers as if the games they play aren't really quote unquote games. Yeah.
There's also a divide on what system you play. The PC master race. Yeah. Looking down on the console peasants.
First of all, I've never done that. I like both.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
stupid. It's just so fucking stupid.
I think it's almost worse within the community than it is to people outside the community. Because if you just play like casual games, I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, whatever, they play casual games, it's fine.
Yeah.
But if you're like in the community and you're like, I love playing Counter-Strike Go on my Xbox 360 with a controller.
Yeah, and they're like, what the fuck?
Like, how fucking dare you?
Listen.
You don't use your keypad?
Yeah.
There's for me, like, there's only really two groups in terms of things worth talking about, right? There's people who play games, and there's idiots who like Katamari Damacy. I don't think...
Matt, the next time...
Well, he's going to fight everybody. He's going to fight everybody.
We might not have a host next time. No, I'm actually, like, really curious, because I know this is a big running joke.
Yeah. I mean, no.
Matt just gave away his hand.
I'm going to edit that right out.
No, I know you genuinely don't like Katamari Damacy.
Yeah.
Which is, like, that's 100% truth. I'd be curious to know, like, why.
Listen, we said that this episode is not going to be an hour and a half.
I don't have... like you answered that question before, though. He went on a little rant.
Yeah, it sucks.
I don't remember.
Yeah, well, he said more than that, but he was like, blah, 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 and blah, and blah, blah, and
I love how much you remember of what I say.
I remember the rant that you went on. I don't remember.
You remember, like, the flow of the rant, not the words.
Right, and it was, like, way back. But,
I actually would love to have an actual podcast episode about games we don't like and why. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
I want to make each other play games that we hate.
We haven't even played a game that we like together.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, no, but we will. But yeah, I just think that, like, I hope that as more and more people play games, I hope these kinds of arguments kind of fade away, because I feel like even console wars are not as much of a thing as they were 15, 20 years ago.
I think people are just going to think of them as idiots. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be like, are you fucking for real? Because everybody's playing games now. We have grandmas who are really good at fucking FPS now.
100%.
We have, like, but, like, so, like, you have, like, Skyrim grandma. You have, like, Animal Crossing grandma. Like, these are actual personalities online. Yeah. Who are, like, these fucking 500-year-old women playing Animal Crossing. And no, but, like, shout out to them, because that's fucking awesome. Like, that's amazing. I want to wrap up this conversation with a couple curious facts about gamers, okay? Did you see any of that?
No.
Okay. I'm going to turn it into a little bit of a game, okay? So I'm going to pull up, there's a couple things on this tech jury thing that I'm going to ask you guys, and I want to see if you guys can hammer it out, okay? Okay. Do you think that people that have a high income are more or less likely to buy games?
Less likely.
Yeah, I think they're less likely, actually.
Why?
I think because they're most likely of an older generation. So they're probably based on age, they're probably less likely to play games.
Ooh, I think it's because they can afford to do other things.
Well, yeah, okay, well, fuck you guys, you're both right. Yeah, so people with a yearly income specifically higher than $90,000 are less likely to buy games.
Why? Did they say why?
They don't really.
They can actually escape. We need to have some sort of escapism because we can't afford things like that.
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay, the next one. What video game profession do you think is least... No, sorry, not what video game profession. What profession do you think is least likely to buy video games? So like teacher versus doctor versus whatever.
Oh.
Which profession do you think,
Doctor.
at least from the people that they've polled, do you think is least likely to buy video games?
You think doctor?
Yeah.
I'm going to say something. I kind of think doctor, but I want to say something different. So I am going to say lawyer.
Dentists.
Dentists?
Dentists are least likely to spend money on games.
Why? Because dentists are just miserable
but I
people?
feel like dentist is still in the medical field.
Yeah, but it's
It
not.
is.
Yeah, but it's
But
not a
I
doctor.
feel
Let's fucking put up a wall here
I feel
between
like-
doctors and
I just
dentists,
feel
okay?
Like, I feel like they all need to get along. Shit, sorry.
Yeah.
My phone agrees. My phone agrees.
Yeah, okay,
Dentists
well-
are just too miserable to play games.
Yeah, they're too busy looking
Sorry,
at people's
Wes.
mouths.
Sorry, Wes.
That's basically it for in terms of curious
What?
facts.
I
that they
thought
had
there
it.
was like...
Yeah, I thought there were more too. This list ended very quickly.
There's my list. This
two.
and we're done.
Yeah.
I have 2 things on this list. Okay, let's
All right.
hit up on some news before we wrap the show. The first thing I want to talk about is the new Animal Crossing update. Fucking Nintendo the last couple of days have just been dropping updates left, right, and center with no fucking fanfare or anything about it. They released they dropped a whole trailer for a new Super Mario Maker 2 update. Animal Crossing is the one I want to talk about. Essentially, they've gone through from April 23rd all the way until June 30th, outlining a whole bunch of different events that'll be going on, new stores, new characters. So if you're playing Animal Crossing, there's a whole bunch of free shit coming your way. Darren, what from that? So just to give a quick rundown, there's Nature Day coming. There's going to be a May Day tour. There's going to be an International Museum Day. Fucking 2 weeks. International Museum Day for 2 weeks. There's gonna be wedding season.
Earth Day is tomorrow.
Earth is tomorrow.
Earth Day is tomorrow. So that shit's hitting the ground running for Nature Day. Is what Animal Crossing calls it. Darren, what from that trailer? What got you most hyped?
The thing I'm most excited for is Red coming back selling artwork and the museum being updated to support an art gallery because I loved that part of the original game. And I was actually pissed when I found out it was not included in the original game. So I am happy ultimately that they've put it as an update because there's actually gameplay elements to that.
Right, because you have to try and figure out which one. Apparently he'll roll up and he'll have a bunch of shit that he's selling. And only some of it's actually authentic.
Yeah, he'll sell counterfeits.
And if you try and donate a counterfeit to the museum, they won't take it.
Yeah, they're sold at the same price too, so you can't tell which is real. So you actually have a mechanic where you actually
So you
look
can just
at
put it in your house?
You can just put it in your house. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so what the thing is though is the fake paintings actually have tells, and this game is the first game where it looks like you can actually zoom in first person and examine in detail the painting to look for flaws.
It was like the Mona Lisa?
Yeah. Like real paintings, real world paintings. And you can actually if you have a good art history background, you can actually find flaws. And those flaws will tell you that this is a
There
counterfeit.
better be some big fucking flaws.
Some of them
The Mona
are
Lisa is a
so
dude.
subtle. No, honestly, some of them are so subtle it's not even funny.
Oh my god. Art lovers will love this.
I feel like I'm gonna buy a lot of counterfeits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just end up hanging them in my house.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm super stoked about that.
Destiny, what about you from that trailer as a new Animal Crossing player? Did anything from there tickle your pickle?
I just want to see the new outfits we're gonna have.
Yeah.
New clothes.
I like shopping. You know what's funny? When you were like, you have to get Animal Crossing. You have to buy a Switch to get Animal Crossing. I was like, all right, I guess everybody's really hyped about it.
Yeah, yeah.
I legit thought Animal Crossing, even though I played the Pocket version, I didn't realize the Pocket version is basically what this game is.
But just with no microtransactions.
Yeah, and you're on a camp
Yeah.
site. I thought I thought it was like a really dumbed down version of the original game. Because for some reason, I thought it was like you had this farm and you had animals on. I don't know what game I thought it was, but it was not this.
Yeah.
And then I was like, Destiny, you didn't even look this up. You just fucking believed Matt and you went out and bought this game. And thank God.
You didn't even know.
Thank God you didn't hate it because you thought it was something completely fucking different.
No, I had a lot of anxiety when you said, "Yeah, I'm gonna buy that Switch," and I was like,
Oh God.
"I'm gonna see I'm gonna see how much longer I'm gonna live." Yeah, of course I push. That's what I do.
Doesn't think of the consequences until later.
No, I do think about it and then push anyway, just see what's gonna happen. I overwhelmingly believe that you would enjoy it, but the small part of me that didn't was terrified for a couple of weeks. Because I was scared. It's like, okay, fuck, she wants to buy it. We have to find it okay, we found it. Okay, she's got it. Okay, day 1, she's still playing. Day 2, still playing.
Which day is she gonna come to work with a crowbar?
I was gonna say, yeah, which day is she gonna roll up and be like, Matt, I haven't played this shit in a week. Guess how many fingers I'm taking? 7. 7 days in a week, bitch.
Oh my god. No, I like it. I mean, I like it, and it is slow, but it's like when I go home, I could just pick it up and do something.
It's very chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, it's not what you're going to say.
No,
something.
not on. No, not on the podcast.
Okay.
After podcast conversation.
I've really been enjoying. I have been enjoying it, but I'm stoked on these fucking bushes.
Yeah.
Oh, I did see those cute little bushes.
Everybody keeps talking like on the Animal Crossing subreddit. It's just like when the update launches, they're gonna be like, "Buy fences, hello bushes." Like people are planning to just get rid of all their fucking fences and put up bushes everywhere.
Which is honestly, I think I would do the same thing.
Yeah, so I'm super stoked to
I have a question.
to play with some bush. What?
Oh my god. It's okay. I make a lot of dick jokes. I heard that like people can make other accounts and like have empty houses on their
that they can use for storage.
Yeah, but they're not using them for storage. They're turning them into like movie theaters and like other like locations.
So having a guest account on your Switch as a secondary account, as like a secondary villager, but
just do things with their house.
I really wonder if you'd be able to put shit in somebody else's house.
You can't, but you just put it outside.
Yeah, and then switch to the profiles.
Yeah.
That's super interesting. I never thought of that before.
Yeah, just
I'm learning a lot from a game that I didn't know shit about.
That's smart. No, like I've avoided looking up any kind of data mined information because I know there's probably a lot of secret systems that the game doesn't tell you that they're waiting for you to figure out. Like there's like in the original game, there was like a feng shui system that actually determined like how many points you get on your like house evaluation.
Are you fucking kidding me? Senna's been getting S on her fucking house evaluations for weeks. I have been getting C's to B's, and I finally just hit A this past Sunday, and I was amped.
Yeah,
and she's like, and she was like, haha, just an A, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
What do you win for that?
You just get plaques and shit.
Yeah, they give you medals and things. But yeah, there's actually like the first.
I got a plaque, but I don't have anything in my house. So I don't know what they awarded me on.
Yeah, for
some.
I got like a bronze plaque or something.
The way that they reward you is.
Who is rewarding? Who is looking at my house? Is it like other people? Like who? How does this work?
For those who I just realized I'm not on camera, and I like gave
you
Destiny
gave me
this
a look.
And no one could see that look that I gave her.
I saw it. Wish I didn't. Yeah, it's awesome, and I'm excited to see.
Wait, are you guys judging my place?
No.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what that look. I'm so confused by that look.
Who isn't looking?
You're such
Who
a
isn't?
keeper.
Who isn't nooking?
Oh. Nookie now.
Comic-Con has been canceled. This is coming from IGN. By the way, of Jim Voda. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. If you ever listen to this, Jimbo. Jim writes, San Diego Comic-Con 2020 has been canceled due to the coronavirus
Which is
pandemic.
really sad.
This is the first time in the con's 50-year history that SDCC has been canceled. It'll come back in 2021.
Maybe they'll be able to use the time to get the smell of body odor out.
Yeah. Good lord. Maybe that's why they're fumigating the entire fucking place. This sucks. Obviously, it's just another fucking thing added onto the list of shit that's been canceled because of coronavirus. People, just fucking stay home. Don't go to the beach.
No, we're going to protest because it's our right to live or die.
Ugh. Protest your right to die.
Yeah.
No, legit, that's what they're doing.
I'm just curious to see how much of these events are going to try and switch to some sort of digital format, and like how like now movie studios and developers and publishers are going to be switching, because with E3 gone, with Comic-Con gone, like are they still going to be dropping this shit around the same times? Is it just going to be that now that these events are gone for the foreseeable future, are we just going to get more of a constant trickle of information rather than just all at once? I mean, I guess only time will tell.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
The last thing, very, very last thing I want to talk about, Streets of Rage 4 gets April release date.
Yay!
This comes from Ryan McCaffrey over at IGN. Streets of Rage 4, the long-awaited sequel to the classic side-scrolling beat-em-up series, will be released on April 30th for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch. It will cost $24.99 USD, and will also launch straight onto Xbox Game Pass. Destiny.
I am really excited, Matt.
Thanks, Destiny. Moving on. No, seriously, why?
No,
why?
I am super excited. I fucking love that series. You guys already know.
Yeah.
And if you didn't know, on sale, my favorite one, which is Street of Rage 2, is on sale for 99 cents.
Oh,
on
dang.
Steam.
So are you gonna buy it on Steam or are you gonna buy it on your Switch?
I don't know. I mean, my Steam's already all hooked up with everything, like my money account and everything. So, can you do it through PayPal on Switch?
I think so.
Maybe.
I think you actually. I don't know.
We'll check after. We'll check after the show because I was gonna say with Final Fantasy VII on sale too.
Yeah.
You gotta hook
I
that
might
shit
as
up.
well get both of them. Yeah. But no, I'm super psyched. I'm worried how I'm going to feel about like the art because obviously the other one was like dated. It's like a vintage kind of retro look, and
Pixel
this
art
is
and
like
stuff,
hand drawn. So I'm wondering like how it's gonna look, how the animation's going to play out. But I'm gonna get it regardless.
Destiny, I've never played a Streets of Rage game before in my life. Can we? We keep saying we're gonna start making Let's Plays and shit. Can we actually start and can we do a Let's Play together of you teaching me how to play Streets of Rage?
Yeah, but you're gonna pick it up like that.
Oh, I really wish we did some Let's Plays earlier because I would have done a Let's Play of my run through of Resident Evil 3 with Alistair.
Darren, we're gonna do a Let's Play of me playing with Tom with you.
Oh my god!
And then can we just do one of all of us playing Broforce?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna
You
start
gotta
the
hook
shit.
this up.
We're gonna start doing shit.
So excited.
But yeah, well, that brings us to a nice, cool 145-minute episode.
Are you kidding me?
No, it's only been an hour 10.
Oh, thank God.
So I just
actually
want to
got
say
scared.
before we like leave is like people who are out there who are like quote unquote gamers, don't be a dick. If somebody plays a different game than you do, don't call them out on it. Don't try to make them feel bad about it. Like, let them enjoy the game.
Well said.
Well said. Darren, what about you? Anything left banging around in that old... I don't know why I said coffee grinder earlier. I'm going to go with fire hydrant of yours.
What?
No.
I think I just dumbfounded you into submission.
My brain has turned to mush.
Yeah, me too. As for me, keep on...
Keep it on?
No.
Okay.
Keep on...
That's a quote from Death Stranding.
Yeah. Well, no, that's from a song.
No, it's from Death Stranding.
But it's from a song.
Death Stranding did it
How do you
first.
know?
Death Stranding wrote first.
No, they didn't.
No, seriously, guys, everybody continue to stay safe. Thank you for listening. Please send this shit around. Tell your friends about it. Please post it on your Facebooks. Give us a like. We are on YouTube now, so like and subscribe there as well. Help us help other people listen to this.
Help us help you stay entertained.
Yeah, help them, help Mima, help
Everybody.
Help everybody. So, without further ado, Darren, say bye.
Why do you always have Darren say bye first? Maybe I want to say bye first. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Darren. Oh my God.
Because I don't want to end on that.
Okay.
Destiny, say bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. We'll see you next week. Catch this shit on all your favorite streaming
Oh,
places.
next week. No, never mind. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell. Sorry. Cut it off. Go. Stop. Stop recording. Stop. Stop it.
Peace out.
Dicky wishy wishy dick.
Dicky wishy wishy.
I feel like it's
Dicky
really close
wishy
to me.
wishy dick.